Hello, everybody. Welcome to the weekly collective reading. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. It's good to see everybody. First of all, I hope that you have had a mostly restful weekend and that you're ready to take a look at the week ahead. Apollo is chilling out behind us, being a good boy. And if you're brand new to this reading, just a couple of quick notes on how it's organized. We're going to start off first with some channeled messages that came through in dreams and meditation. Then I'll get into a tactical approach at the 7 days in front of us. Retrograde ends this week, so we'll see what energy is in store. And then we have a special topic after the elemental check-in, and it was very close, not quite a tie, but about as close to a tie as you can get. But closing a chapter is the special topic that you chose. Letting go of things that don't serve you, which I absolutely get behind, and I think it's good that it is the main topic because it's a release topic, and so often we don't look at like healing. So we're going to take a look at that, and then maybe a little bit into the alchemist. I'll probably still allow it to be its own topic one day, but we'll see if there's anything that you can change, and I think that's how I'll tie it together. If we see something that you need to release, somehow I'll weave in a little bit of alchemy with it too to see what you can do to change things up. So they kind of fit together. Okay, let's get into the channeled messages for today. This morning when I woke up, actually as I was dreaming about this reading this morning, I saw a millipede. I don't like dream of insects that much. They're not my favorite thing. I love them, especially beneficial ones. But anyway, I kept looking at this millipede. And I was thinking about how all the little segments have to be coordinated. And it was the one that was a little bit harder shell. It's not the one that kind of looks like fuzzy, so I don't know if it's a centipede or a millipede. I'll look it up as we're talking. But anyway, suffice it to say, in order for that insect, yeah, it is a millipede, I think, for it to work properly, it has to kind of like coordinate all of those legs. And that's kind of what I woke up and I wrote down. I was like, it's about coordination, collaboration, and what I was paying attention to, the environment that this little insect was crawling in, looked like it was messy. So this week, tidying up all things in your life. It could be your finances, your schedule, your actual physical living space, relationships. We have just a little bit of energy at the beginning of the week until retrograde ends. The 11th, actually not much. Thank goodness, right? So today, tomorrow could be your kind of wrap up. We have shadow energy afterwards, so there's always a pre and post shadow. So you can still do some of that mop up work. But then what came through was this energy of like an opening. And I saw a door that was broken open, like not like just broken, but someone had come through and like pushed it open. So this little bit of extra work that you do at the beginning of the week creates this kind of breakthrough. And I think the most frustrating thing may simply be creating the schedule or cleaning up the mess, because let's face it, cleaning isn't always the most fun, right? But if you can see beyond that lesson or beyond that sort of activity, I think it could be beneficial in the long run, and I would highly encourage that. Okay, so there you go. It's an interesting, I don't think I've ever really channeled that in 10 years, a millipede or centipede. It's not something I like to think about, but when I thought about it, I was like, a lot of different energies working together to create sort of, a common goal. So leadership energy too is also what I would connect with this, but we'll keep an eye out as I pull cards today to see if things are segmented off, if you need to pull it all together, because I feel like that's what it represented, is you might have a lot of little different things running all around and you need to pull it together into one, sort of like a train almost, one train of thought. There you go. All right, speaking of train of thought, let's look at the 7-day forecast and see what's coming through. So again, this is very practical. It's going to help us look at the week ahead. And let's begin. Good to see everybody. All right, take a moment, please. Clear your mind of anything that you might be holding on to, allowing for just guidance to come through. Let's create a circle of light around our body and our mind's eye. Welcome in spirit guides, angels, and ascended masters, and see what they have to say for this 7 days. All right, we'll get everything organized. And we'll begin. Actually, it's a pretty good week overall. I can already see that, but we'll we'll take it one day at a time. Let's start off with this Sunday. Six of Swords. And it's a Six of Swords in the reverse position. So for some of you, there is an opportunity to finish any unfinished business, to go back and basically say, I want to complete this because I don't want or need an anchor to tie it into the special topic today. And an anchor in your life could be a regret, unsaid or unfinished business with somebody, a promise that needs to be fulfilled so that you can be free and liberated. When I did the full moon, pick a card reading last night, but I did also like just influences. One of the energies was the Tower, and then this Freedom card that I pulled where the person was flying through the air. That's what we really have a chance to do, is to let go and then have this newfound elevation and momentum really is what's coming through. Some of you may decide to return, because a Six of Swords reverse can also be a return. So return, review, revise, finish and release something, and then move on. Also, you might be slightly altering course for the week ahead. You thought you were going to focus on this, but you're going to focus on this instead. We're out of the full moon energy, and we're nearly out of retrograde. So you can make plans today for like Tuesday, for instance, to really start to create some momentum. One thing that I like about this Six of Swords is you almost see like this, it reminds me of a vapor trail or chemtrail for a plane. You can see how quickly it's moving. So once the momentum has been created, it sustains itself. It's just hard at the very beginning to basically take those oars and start rowing, but it's worth it. We also see the destination not too far off in the distance. So to wrap it up into everyday words and things, any effort that you put forth today, incrementally and exponentially, I should say, is going to create this sort of ease for the rest of the week. And it can be in planning and plotting and sort of like organizing things. So this is a great day to do all of that. If you need to travel, plan for some delays, but ultimately you should be able to get further and farther than you expect on any sort of project goal. Okay? Moving on to the week ahead. All right, Monday. A little bit of healing is necessary. We have the Knight of Cups in reverse. Knights are typically on a horse, but this one has taken a break and he's tuning in, as a Knight reversed should. So how do I feel? That's the question with the Knight of Cups in reverse. How do I feel? Am I happy? Is this fulfilling? Do I want this? Emotions, generally speaking, and mental health. These are the things to focus on and to resolve first. Once you understand how you feel, once you've been able to express your fears, anxieties, emotions, and etc., again, one more anchor has been released. So today is about making sure that you are looking at all of the events and plotting them out. And then Monday, tomorrow, is about making sure that you're ready. Am I ready? Do I feel okay? And if I don't, what do I need to do to feel okay? People may want more from you than you can give. Boundaries are important. We recently got like a Two of Cups in reverse it was either in the full moon reading or in one of the dailies. But basically I said that there's opportunities knocking when that happens, but you need to make sure, I think it was yesterday's full moon, but you just need to make sure that you're ready for it. So self-care is really, really important tomorrow, okay? Creativity, intuition, and sensitivity are definitely highlighted with this card. So pace yourself and take it one step at a time, okay? As we get into Tuesday, it's looking a lot better. We have the Emperor card, and this kind of reminds me a little bit of a tesseract from like A Wrinkle in Time. So this is where suddenly you might be able to have the breakthrough, that open door that I saw also in meditation. We see things breaking through. Breakthroughs are possible. Creative energy starts to take form and shape. And also for some of you, you're redefining things. He's almost in an impossible cube. It seems to be missing something as I look at this, because he's kind of popping up on the different planes. So for some of you, you're pushing limits and you're thinking outside of the box, and give things time and an opportunity to take shape. Don't rush things. And if someone in your life comes through with a question, kind of like what I was formulating for Monday, Are you sure? Or I don't agree with you. You don't need to let that take you off path. I was recently telling someone about some future plans, and they're like, I don't agree with you. I said, well, thank you for letting me know. Thank you for feeling confident enough in the relationship to express that, and I appreciate it, and I'll definitely consider it. But I'm actually feeling good about this. That's a great way to push back. Say, I love that you can be honest with me, without sarcasm. Like, I really did appreciate that. And I said, why do you feel that way? I said, well, that's not really the reason that I'm doing this. She said, okay. So then you can kind of diffuse things, because a lot of times it's a misunderstanding, or it's that person's own feelings, projections, or beliefs, their belief system that they're trying to place on you. And this person is trying to stretch out from that belief system. So best friends, brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, people that know us best, tend to try to restrict us with their belief system and their fears. You can push back and say, that's your experience. I was thinking of this, Heidi Montag. She had this interview once where she's like, and that's your path, or that's your truth. And it was a kind of sassy response, but it's also very cool to just say that is your experience, your belief system. It doesn't necessarily directly correlate to me, but I appreciate your expression of that. And if you can say it in a way that really is non-condescending, it's just saying, okay. If people don't get a rise out of you, then they'll move on to the next topic. This is really important if you're presenting something to a client. Let's take it into like a work context. And again, they're just saying, well, I don't know about this. Say, well, I'm glad you asked. I actually did some prep work on this. Here's what's going on here. Here's what's going on here. I think this is a great approach. Oh, okay. Sometimes people just want to make sure that you're solid, you've done the homework, and that you're not afraid. So get really solid in Monday on all of those fronts, so that on Tuesday, when people start to push that sort of energy in your direction, you can say, got it. I'm good. Thank you. And I think that's the key on that. By the way, things that you can do on Tuesday, just about anything. The Emperor card is one of the ultimate, if not the ultimate, boss cards. So speaking up in business, pushing back, creating boundaries, entrepreneurial sort of energy, absolutely. Anything that you want to do in business, cleaning up your home. We talked about getting organized. The Emperor is really good with structure. Maybe not as good as the Hierophant, but he's very good with structure. So it's a great time to do that, okay? And people will listen to you, but only if you believe in yourself. And that's why I wanted to kind of help you with believing in yourself. And maybe even highlighting that sometimes that they're speaking from their own path or their own truth, not so much yours. Okay, things look great on Wednesday. We have the Six of Wands, and this is a really light illustration, but this person is kind of jumping over the high jump or whatever that is in track and field. And it feels like they're successfully getting over a hurdle or boundary and winning. Let's look at the traditional card for a second. And here it is, very speedily coming through here. Success, but also sometimes leading the way. The horse is looking back in this illustration and making sure that you know where you're going. So people that are trying to help you, that want to follow you, that are on your team, this is why the confidence thing is coming through loud and clear. We don't have any room for Five of Pentacles moments, like, I don't know, or Four of Pentacles, holding back and holding in. Anything that you want to launch, Wednesday's a great day to launch. Be mindful of body language. When I look at this horse, it always makes me laugh. I mean, it can be curious, but it can also be kind of sassy. So avoid side eye, avoid rolling your eyes. Make sure that when someone talks to you, you're aware of the tells that you give when you're not interested. It would be better just to speak up and say, hey, I have a question, or this is triggering some things. Can we talk about it? Because they're going to read it anyway. You may think that you're hiding it, but your body language is telling another story. That's why it's also important to practice things to get the nerves out, so people aren't reading the nervous tics or energy in the nonverbal, okay? Get out, mix and mingle. This is a great day to see others and to be seen. And again, you have this ability to overcome a hurdle. That's really what I'm getting from this beautiful illustration here. And things are starting to clear up. The clouds are starting to clear. Great day in all aspects of your life. With Six of Wands, sky is the limit. So don't come into the day with any limitations, only with possibilities. And maybe with a little bit of practice, like I said, so that you feel that sense of confidence when you're ready. Okay? All right. Now let's take a look at Thursday. For Thursday, we have a card that just flew out of my hands here, the Three of Cups. And celebration, having some fun, mixing and mingling, possibly even love, partnership, or friendship coming through. Just like I said, the Six of Wands the day before is a day to get out, mix and mingle, but someone may see you and want to meet up again. So this is a perfect day for a date, an appointment, a conversation, for having fun, going to see a movie or a concert or hanging out with somebody. Like this is the day. Interactions, celebrations, and taking some of the seriousness out of the week, because there are days where you really want to go all in, and that was like Tuesday with the Emperor. And then there are other days where you want to release. This is like a release valve on a pressure cooker. We're blowing off some steam with friends. Don't rush things. Speaking of cooking, with the Three of Cups, it's a courtship energy, and it's an exploration energy. So in the buffet of life, this is you sort of sampling things, but not necessarily committing to one thing. And there are days and times where that's a good thing. So explore new things. Don't fully commit. Don't expect others to fully commit. Instead, enjoy the interaction and let it sit for a second. Let it simmer. How do you feel? Definitely getting a lot of cooking metaphors. Maybe you're going to go cooking. Who knows? Take a cooking class on Thursday. But that's what I see. Let it simmer and see how you feel about that. All right. Only thing you want to maybe avoid, even though it's in the upright position, is going to an extreme. And of course, gossip. We don't want to gossip with the Three of Cups. Okay, at the end of the week, a little bit of self-care is coming forth. So we have the King of Pentacles. It's in the reverse position. King of Pentacles is asking a question. What's in it for me? So for those of you that are constantly the King of Pentacles upright, giving, nurturing, supporting, embracing, sometimes the battery is empty. And at the end of the week, you may be wondering, first of all, I need a little support. So it's a great day for self-care. If you need to go to the doctor, if you need to get a massage, if you need a nap, whatever you can do, whatever's in budget, pamper yourself, take care of yourself. You may also need to ask someone and say, like, we need to even the exchange. And I see that card coming through on Sunday as well. But the way you could communicate this is, I really could use some support here. Or you don't even need to like communicate that the other person isn't coming through. Just say, can I count on you for this? I need help. So if you need something, ask, take care of yourself, and don't overextend. These are the big takeaways. Be mindful of tone. Sometimes with the King of Pentacles in reverse, it can come across as too transactional. So that would be one thing that I would say is make sure that there's just a little bit more positive appreciation in things and gratitude before you ask for what it is that you need. Okay? Just a small nuance. As we take a look at Saturday, it's looking pretty good. We have the Sun card, which is one of the best cards overall. The Sun, the star of the world, they're just very bright, very optimistic cards. So the Sun, the little baby there, which I love, great day to birth something, to create something, to release something, to start something. It's a perfect day for an interaction, a first date. In some decks, you'll see lovers on this card, two people. The reason is because it's playful, it's powerful, it's bright, it's energetic, it's charismatic. So anything where you need that kind of energy, this is the day to do it. Particularly when it comes to relationships, this shines brightly. In your own life, this reminds you of your power. The Sun, as we can see, can personify both a child, but also the light behind it. So the Sun in our solar system, this magnet and sort of like glue that holds together everything. This is the day to coordinate, to cooperate, and to collaborate. All of the things that I saw with like the millipede, bringing all the pieces together in one cohesive train of thought. Even this was kind of like a train of thought too, which is interesting. But this is when it all culminates and comes together. So much like Wednesday, you can put your mind to anything this day, put your energy in any direction, and see positive traction. All right, let's look at next Sunday. So this is a day where you're going to create better balance in your life. And I'm going to pull the traditional card while we're talking here. But what we see with this is they focused on the growth component, because you usually see all the greenery in the Seven of Pentacles, where things are starting to finally grow and go in the direction that you want. But what the Six of Pentacles is reminding you is to make smart choices. So almost anything is possible, but not all on that day. So Two of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles are constrained resources, but there's a lot more with the six. So what you need to sometimes do is say, I can do this today, I can do that tomorrow. You could spread things out over time. If people want it right now, then you could say, well, then I need more support or I need more help. So you either need to add people, add money, or spread out the time. Otherwise, you're going to reduce the scope so that you're not overextended, kind of businessy. But like I said, this normally shows the vines, the Seven of Pentacles. To get to that, we have to create better balance. Always with the outstretched hands on the Six of Pentacles. So people want more than you can give that day, but you can get what you want done. There just needs to be realistic expectations. Resetting goals, resetting boundaries, resetting expectations. I want all of this too, but I think we should focus on this today. This is what's possible. If you want this, I need this. Those are the tools you use with the Six of Pentacles. Some of that could be helped with the King of Pentacles in reverse, which we talked about on Friday. So you can start putting in the ask then, but you might have to continue to reassert yourself and say, I know we used to do it this way, but this is what's necessary now because of this, this, and this. Work-life balance, balance in your life, and also like inner ear balance anytime Two of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles, or Justice comes up. So make sure that you're taking care of yourself, and if anything is out of balance energetically or physically or emotionally, that you're taking care of yourself. It's upright, so I feel like you're going to be all right in that respect. Quickly highlighting it. Some of you get upset if I forget to do this. I only do it if there's like specific dates that kind of pop out. Today I feel like this is a great week. It's like a deep breath, a sigh after retrograde. There's really no bad energy. So the highlights, and there are many. Really just the middle of the week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, equally beautiful. But again, Tuesday, entrepreneurial, Wednesday, just general public and success energy, and then Thursday, social interactions. And when you get to the weekend, I think the highlight is Saturday, and I think it's the brightest, strongest, and most powerful card in the spread this week. So if you really want to do something, that's your day. But any of these are good too. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Many highlights this week. The biggest challenges: self-care, emotional well-being, and picking a path and sticking to it this week. So I would say Sunday, Monday, and Friday are the days to really check in emotionally and make sure that you're not getting off track. Like I said, a great week ahead. Okay, I'm going to keep working with this deck. I haven't used it in a while. I like it. So we're going to go into the elements next, and the elements give us a chance to basically just drill in a little bit more to see what's going on. All right. Sorry, I hit the wrong button there. So we're looking at fire, earth, air, and water. And now let's turn the camera down and shuffle. Fire, earth, air, and water. All right, let me just push this to the side a little bit so that I don't hit that again. Okay. Here we go. Let's look at fire signs: Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. We have a Knight of Wands in reverse. So this is correlating to the Monday energy, but for you, there's an additional nuance, and it's about making sure that you're keeping an open mind. There could be some feedback, some criticism, some new information that comes your way this week, and this card is asking you to think, like, how do I feel about that? What do I want to do? It almost looks like they're carrying a bit of a burden, or they're pushing through something, so letting go of having to have all of the answers immediately and just thinking to yourself, what if I take it a step at a time? This is a great day to initiate on a plan, but again, not getting there before your vision is clear. So if you need a little bit more research or support on something, get that external point of view or lean on an expert, and then I think you're going to be able to make some progress. There could be someone that pushes you. As I said earlier this week, especially, was this on the middle of the week, I think, but you have the ability to push back. So just because someone believes something doesn't mean that their belief system has to align to yours. So this can represent stubbornness, and there's a time and a place to be stubborn. It can represent overthinking. We don't want to do that. It can also represent not keeping an open mind. And so we want to make sure that we're exploring all paths in front of us. Some of you just need to slow down a little bit. So take today and take Monday as your opportunities to slow down. You can also do a little bit of that on Friday. So the rest of the week should offer a lot of movement. And on those days of rest, that gives you a chance to recalibrate, okay? If you're not clear on something, ask a question. Very rarely is this confusion, but there may be something that you're not considering or understanding completely, so you can always ask for a little bit more, okay? The last thing that I get with this is, do you want to do it? Are you passionate about it? Because wands and fire are associated with passion, and when they're reversed, maybe something isn't providing the same spark that it used to, okay? Overall, a pretty good week. Take your time, pace yourself, but I do feel like by the middle of the week, you'll start to see some progress. Moving on to earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. All right, we have the High Priestess coming through in the reverse position. You already kind of know what to do, but the question is, why aren't you listening to yourself? High Priestess can see past an illusion, past a block, but in this situation, she may be, as I said earlier, kind of clouded by someone else's restrictions or projections. Also, sometimes we see a person in a light that we wish we could unsee, but be grateful for whatever truth is revealed. The High Priestess is trying to save you from spinning your wheels, wasting your time, engaging in relationships or opportunities that aren't reciprocating or worth your time and energy. Maybe you haven't given yourself enough time for creative activities, for intuitive development, etc. And High Priestess energy reminds you this week to do that. Definitely tap into your higher knowledge and intuition this week. It will serve you well, okay? There could also be someone in the periphery that's trying to manipulate or coerce. You'll see through that, okay? So trust your instincts, please. On to the air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Well, you came through as yourself, which is great, the Queen of Swords in reverse. You may be asked this week to speak up. And I think it's really important to do so, but choose your words wisely. Less is more. You can always add. You can't subtract. And the Queen of Swords in reverse is brief, direct, and to the point. I mentioned tonality. So with the King of Pentacles in reverse, I said, make sure it's not too transactional. With the Queen of Swords in reverse, make sure that it's not too critical. So reversals of court cards carry additional meanings, which is why I read reversals. So what you want to do with the Queen of Swords in reverse is check on the time. Like, is this a good time to talk? Check on the condition of the person that you're talking to. How are you feeling today? What's going on? Listen. Don't just have it be transactional. If you know that they're dealing with something, ask about that first. Hey, how did that thing go last week with such and such? Like, show that you're listening and caring. Have a casual conversation, then connect and say, well, I'm glad I have a couple minutes with you. Could we talk about this? What day, what time works? I really need some assistance, and I know you could help. So that's how you get into it, where it's not just, hey, where are we at on this? Like, that's really abrupt, and sometimes King or Queen of Swords in reverse are too direct. So ease in, not to the point where the person knows that you're doing it. It has to be a legitimate connection. Make a connection, give that sort of energetic hug, then ask. Okay? It's a great week for revising, editing, and I'm getting the word directing or redirecting your energy. So take that as you will. Your communication skills are great. Just don't overdo it. And also pay attention to tone. One thing that you can also do is practice with others and say, how does this sound? Or could I get your eyes on this? Does this read okay? Especially nowadays where a lot of people I'm so glad I went to school in a time where ChatGPT did not exist. We were still using CD-ROMs and DVDs. So the internet was there, but it wasn't like it is now. So you had to still use this, and you and someone else would look at stuff. So focus on building the critical thinking, the critical eye. There's a time and place for ChatGPT, but trust me, to those of us that went through traditional writing, kind of like training, you can spot it. It reads in a certain way, and I'm not just talking about punctuation. It's just there's this sort of predictability to it. So one thing that you can do is use your unique voice. That's the reason we like certain artists, certain poets. It's both their perfection and imperfection. It's their tonality, it's their cadence. So develop your own and stay true to it. I'd rather read something that was written by a human. I'd rather consume something that was written. You can use it for touch-up, but not for the composition. Use your voice. Okay, moving onward to water signs. Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. We have the Hierophant in reverse. So many of you are pushing back against the system this week. And there's a lot of that going on here. So we have the Hierophant opening up a box, but sometimes he feels like he's put in the box too. So there's this out-of-the-box thinking, but the people around you want predictability. They want you to kind of conform. So this is a non-conformist card. Find people around you that support a different way of thinking or being. Allow yourself to be exposed to new experiences, and it doesn't have to just do with work. It can be like new music, new food, new environments. When you change up and shake up the routine, it starts to spark new connections in your mind, and also you might meet new people. So something has grown a little bit long in the tooth, a little too tiresome, and the Hierophant in reverse is encouraging you to get out of that sort of like cycle. There could be someone around you that is a micromanager or helicopters in. Sometimes a friend or parent can be this way, and they're like, "Are you done with that yet? Where are we on this?" They're meaning well, but they're taking away your power. You may also tend to do that with someone else, so don't. Push back. Say, "I'm good. I'll ask for help when I need it. In fact, I really need some space to finish this. Give me some time." It's okay to do that. Because if you don't, people, they're never going to learn from that. Even a boss, just say, "It would really help me if I just could have like 2 hours to complete this, and then I'd love to check in with you. But right now, this is kind of like interrupting my focus." And if they don't like that, I don't know what to say. There are some people that just, it's an insecurity. And it's a bigger red flag if people don't take a cue from your boundaries. You can't change people. You can hope that they'll pick up on things, but if you're in that energy, then it might be a longer term sort of goal for you to find a place where you can breathe better, okay? Don't just mix and repeat. Do something a little bit different. This is a week to really go beyond what's expected. Overall, though, the Hierophant, by the way, is a very strong and alchemic figure. If we're looking for an alchemist here, the magician and the high priest or high priestess, and he's often called the high priest. So he can take things and say, "You know what? I can completely shift this around." So don't underestimate your ability to be alchemic and make something more out of something that doesn't seem to be that initially. All right. Pretty awesome week, right? After we got this retrograde's been interesting. It's been difficult for some of us, but it comes through for a reason, and we're nearly through it. Tomorrow should be the last and the hardest day with respect to that, and then it looks a lot better this week. So let's get into that special topic, which again is end scene. I can't fit it all in the title, but kind of like the end scene to a movie. Close a chapter, something that no longer serves you. So I'm going to we'll pull a full Celtic Cross this week. We'll do the expanded forecast. We'll see where things are opening, where they're closing, what could be blocking you. And if you're done karmically, or if there's something that you're still kind of holding on to. So there you go. All right. Let's see which deck wants to be used today. I might use this one, actually. I'm just going to use this one. It's a pretty cool deck, and it has some unusual cards. So making an executive decision. All right. Closing our eyes, tuning in, seeing what needs to be seen. Not judging, not fearing. Not rinsing and repeating. There comes that freedom card again. All right, so as I said, yesterday's reading would be continued today, and we already see a little bit of that continuation with freedom coming through again. In case you wonder why I have to put stickies on, I get that question a lot. It's because YouTube doesn't like certain images, so even when they're artistic, I have to make sure that there's not too much that's shown. All right, let's get into the catalyst for today. We have a reversal of a rune. I like it. So it's a reset. It says seasons, cycle, harvest. And it reminds me a lot of the World or the Wheel of Fortune because those are cyclical cards. So you're already there. The cycle has ended. So the catalyst tells us that the cycle has ended. But there's some sort of internal friction, which we'll talk about, and I can kind of see it already as I glance down, that is holding us back from releasing the cycle. Also, for many of you, it's going to be seasonally tied. So we're getting very close to autumn or spring, I guess, because it's reversed in the next season in your hemisphere is when this is naturally going to happen. So, so the next equinox and the next solstice are going to be very powerful for you. Mark both of those dates because there could be some significant shifts. We're looking beyond just this week. Any and all of these readings have the ability to kind of like go further out. So you can always revisit if you need to, especially when there's a powerful topic like this. This one in particular is going to be on the next season or two. So in the Northern Hemisphere, it's going to be fall and winter, and I guess it would be spring and summer in the lower hemispheres. But whenever you're watching this, the next two seasons coming through are powerful. All right, let's take a look at everything that's going on here. So what doesn't serve you? I can already see a bunch of things here. We have we have 4 cards that no longer serve you here. 5. Thank you, Spirit. They all came through. Limiting thoughts and ideas, conflict, pain or disruption in your sort of immediate environment. For many of you, also just honesty or integrity, lack thereof, and then being pulled in too many directions. So it all came out. It's all on the table. There's a lot of other great cards, but because we asked a difficult question, we got some cards that need to be focused on. Let's see what's presenting itself, though. In this new season, once you get past some of that stuff, we already have the silver lining at the center, a beautifully illustrated lover's card, which, by the way, like I said, I'm reading in the Northern Hemisphere. It's connected to the next season. I'm in summer, it'll be fall. So just a month or two away, we start to see things moving in a new direction. I see the lovers as one of the ultimate magnet cards in the major arcana. The sun is a great one, the star is another one, and so is the lovers. So those 3 kind of shine because they're out, they're bright, they're attractive. I mean, literally, what is the lovers? It's attraction. So you can use it or lean into it, I should say, however you might like. This could be, for instance, in business, really doing what you love and attracting people that are attracted to your passion and then the great results that result from the passion. So like attracts like in multiple ways. You love it, you do a great job, other people love that, they love that you love it, you love all of this, it brings more abundance, love. In relationships, when you work on yourself and start to become someone that you love, you no longer are looking for validation or completeness, completion, I should say, in others. So, you know, I hate that line, you complete me. No, you compliment me, but you don't complete me. I complete me. You complete you. And we together are great complements. So work on completing your energetic self. Forget about silly, sappy movie lines and know that that's actually going to help you pull in a partner that can sit there and walk through life with you rather than teach you or complete you, which then you can infer that you're incomplete. You're complete, folks, with or without someone. Hollywood doesn't like that, but you are complete. You are your own love story. And when you bring someone else into that, it gets even richer. But you don't need someone to complete you. Focus on that. Loving, accepting, and embracing yourself, doing what you love, and knowing that that energy of love, the frequency of love, creates more. So we have a really great card to kick it off. And we have, again, this understanding that a seasonal shift is happening. Spirit sees it. I see it. I hope you can see the sense of love and connection. If you can't, though, then that's going to create some friction. All right, let me take a drink here, and then we're going to talk about some of the other things. By the way, I always put affiliate links after the video is live. So for those of you saying, I wish you would link it up in the daily or the weekly, or I do. So when it's done, it'll say Nicholas earns commission on the following things, and everything that has a link, I put it up there. So give me some time, but after the reading, I will link all the decks that I use, and that's a great way to support the channel and also get the decks that I'm using. I'm pretty transparent now. And I'll update my website. It's been a minute. I'll make sure that they're all up to date there. Okay, Nine of Cups. Extremes. It can be good. It's one of the best like happy cards in the deck, but it can also be extremes. And then I'll talk about the fact that it's actually wish fulfillment too. But one thing, since we're looking at things that no longer serve you, overdoing it. So overworking, over worrying, oversleeping, over anything. We're over the over. Now, what this card does represent is absolute joy and wish fulfillment. Look at all the angelic beings coming through and filling up that big cup that she's holding on to. So this moment in time, it will be fine. It's going to be okay. The Lovers at the center shows that. The universe wants to support you. Spirit wants to support you. A dream, a goal, or a vision is ready to be manifested, provided that we work through everything around the center, because we have 4 cards of challenge that I'll help you with. But I started with the good stuff, which is you're in a very attractive, energetic moment, and you're maybe like a step or two away from accomplishing, or a month or two, because we were looking at the seasons, from accomplishing a goal or a vision. Good stuff. We want to avoid, with the Nine of Cups, feeling like it's the best day ever or the worst day ever. The extremes tend to blur or obscure the true vision of things, okay? All right, let's get to probably the biggest thing in this entire spread that could hold you back, but it is in the past, the devil. The devil can be a limiting thought. An example of devil energy would be, I can't do this because I'm not this enough or that enough. Or saying something like, this will never happen. I won't even say it here as a hypothetical because I don't want that floating around in my energy. So release the never, can't, won't, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Whenever those sorts of words come in, take the could have, should have, would have, and make them into can, will, and am. We're just going from past to future. And then eventually we'll bring them into the present. But I challenge you to challenge this thought process. I want to do this. I will do this. I am doing this. Not that I can't, but I'm going to figure out how. All of those other forms of it are better. So conjugate your thoughts a little bit. As someone who's learning more in Spanish, so many conjugations. So many conjugations. But yes, you can learn a lot by kind of like shifting it around. Okay. So the other thing here with the devil in reverse, there might be people in your life that can't give you what you want. Also, jobs and activities. So in a job, this is a long, long time ago. It's like 25 years ago. I was in one of my favorite jobs, and the person there said, we love you. You're doing a great job. You'll never get hired. It took the wind out of my sails, but it also, and I spent another 2 years there, but they just said, we don't have headcount and you're not old enough. You don't have enough experience. I can't sell you to the execs. I'm like, I'm not someone to be sold. I have enough experience. I could do a great job here. So I kept revisiting it, but they told me. And then that's an example of a devil energy where you're like, well, I'm just biding time here. I'm going to spend some time and figure out the next path because I can't grow. I'll never be hired. I'll never get benefits. I'll never go anywhere. But it was a good paying job and a great company. But talk about a devil moment. It's not always terrible. You're welcome to stay, but you'll never go anywhere. Like literally that person told me this, and I thought, okay, I didn't stay long. I stayed longer than I should have, though. So if someone reveals that they can't be who you want them to be, or you can't grow, it's time to go. If you can't grow, it's time to go. There's your bumper sticker for the devil. Also in a relationship, you can't change someone. You can't change their mind. You can affect their thought process, but if they don't want to be who you need them to be, you need to move on. Very rarely do I give tough love, but in a relationship, if someone is with someone else and they're spending some of their time with you, that's not your person. And I'm talking about like a lover. they're still connected. They're chained to something else. They can't give you their heart, or they can't share their heart. Their heart is theirs to keep, but they can't share their heart with you. Let's rephrase old ways of thinking and saying things. You deserve more. You deserve your cup to be overflowing, okay? Someone wants your cup to be like 1/4 of the way through. In business, if someone isn't paying you enough, or if they, thank God I'm no longer in TikTok, in corporate world, but in TikTok, I see all these people complaining, so I feel like I'm still there tangentially. So a lot of times with like cost reductions and staff reductions, they'll say, we need you to step into this role and do more of this. And you're like, am I going to get paid more? No, this is a test, and maybe later we'll review this. No, thank you. No, thanks. I'm good. I'm gonna do exactly what I'm doing if you're not going to give me more pay or a higher title. I'm not going to do the work of 2 to 3 people. So if someone's trying to milk every last bit of energy out of you, can't give you what you want in love, or won't allow you to grow to the next level, I've used a few real life examples. You deserve better. You don't have to make the change today or tomorrow or even this week, but you should do it soon, seasonally, 2 to 3 months. We actually get that. 3 to 6 max, okay? And that helps. And then the other thought limitations are, I don't deserve anything more than this. Yes, you do, okay? It's deeply in the karma. It's in the past, which is why I spent a little bit more time on it. And the devil is seductive. If we looked at the Lightseers deck, it's an attractive card. So sometimes it looks good on some levels, but it ultimately takes more than it gives. You never get what you want out of a devil situation. The devil always gets more in a contract. So that's why we sever the contract and say, not today, Satan, not today. Okay, let's take a look at a recent past. Sometimes you try and try and try, and it just feels like nothing sort of sits. Again, it's probably connected to that devil energy. You can work all you want to work, but if someone isn't willing to receive it or reward it, because the next card up in this is success, that also is an indication that it's time to move on. Power in numbers. If you don't like something, I like that we see picketers here, or people that are protesting. Organize. That's why the next is the 6 of Wands. So, if something is unjust, the devil is definitely unjust. We don't just need justice reversed. You can rally up forces, grassroots campaign, or, sort of like power in numbers. This isn't something you should have to fight on your own. And if you can't get the support of the collective around you in an environment like at work or school or wherever you're living, then it's time to find another place where people are aligned. So you can try. There definitely is an approach here, which is to get the support of others to affect change. But if that also doesn't work, it's time to move on, okay? If you don't feel the thrill anymore, also, this can be just like a hamster wheel where you're just going and going and going, but nothing's happening. Like a treadmill nowadays, there's better use of your time and energy. All right, let's talk about this. There's a lot. You chose the topic. I'm going to talk through it, and it's going to be tough love and true love today, so we can embrace these cards. We got to get through these cards. Okay. The 7 of Swords. Such an interesting illustration here because they have a jailbird here. I believe, and I have seen this in my life, karma finds a way. You don't have to be the one that punishes or seeks revenge. Leave it up to justice. Leave it up to the karmic scales of justice. Invariably, they work their magic. Some of it will happen this lifetime. Some of it will happen next lifetime. People who don't learn their lesson now are doomed to repeat it, and usually with more difficulty in future lifetimes. So it's not your job to avenge, punish, or put too much energy into that. There is this freedom that comes with just saying, I've done all I can do. And I've really done all I can do. Let whatever shall happen, happen. You're going to reap what you sow, and so will everyone else. So that's when, if you can't get the support of others, these cards are flying around today. If you can't get the support of others, then move on. And you can cut your losses in this card. I want to look at the Lightseer's version of it because I like it. So we're going to talk a little bit more about this. As I'm finding that version, a couple of thoughts come to mind. First of all, this can be a form of the devil that is in our thoughts. So what happens sometimes is we tell ourselves no one's going to notice. Isn't there like a TikTok sound like, no one's going to notice, blah, blah, blah. Yes, they're going to notice. That's one of the follow-ups. They're going to notice. So, or I shouldn't do this. So you want to listen to I shouldn't do this because you shouldn't. Don't take a shortcut. Don't do something that you wouldn't want done to you. And at the end of the day, I think it's really important to just be a person of your word. So if you promise, follow through. If it doesn't feel right, listen to that. There's the 5 of Swords. I don't know why I can't find the 7, so we'll just stick with this one if we need to. Let me see if there's anything else that I want to talk about with this. Oh, here it is. Okay, good. I found it. So here's this version of it. I like this because we see the crow sounding an alarm. It's either the thought in our head, the feeling in our gut, or someone around us that's typically like, I don't know about that. Have you heard about this, this, or this? So this is not a fear. This is someone saying, you really need to look into this. Listen to that. Listen to that. And when it comes to contracts, the devil is trying to pull you in. I did find the attractive devil. Don't worry, this will be fine. Sign away all of that time and energy. No, don't do it. Cut your losses. Move on. It's not good enough. Something's not good enough, and we need to listen to that higher calling. Okay? I really would research people's history because this illustration says it all. So I do want to focus on this one for a second. I love that it's a jailbird. So if somebody has historically done things that aren't right, they're probably going to do it again, unless they've made significant changes or shifts in their life. History repeats itself. Study the history, do the research, look at the background, make a good decision based on that. 3 of Swords in reverse. You're ready to heal, but maybe you're afraid to put your heart out there. And I corrected the way that I said this earlier. Don't be suspicious. Someone was saying, I just saw that in chat. Yes, be suspicious. But once you've gone through all of that with the 3 of Swords in reverse, it's saying, I'm wiser. I remember how for some of you actually got the High Priestess this week. You're going to see through illusions and mirages. And as long as you trust your instincts, you'll be fine. That's the caveat that I'm getting with this 3 of Swords based on all the previous cards that we've pulled, is just listen to the instincts. Listen to the voice of reason. Not the temptation, but the voice of reason, and listen to your gut. How does it feel? Listen to your heart. Listen to your third eye. You can use all of those because there are different forms of we're going to like instinctual, emotional, and intuitive, even a little bit of intellectual too. All of that. Pull it together and then you're going to be fine. Yes, you could close your heart off, but you would never experience joy, surprise, elation, fulfillment, satisfaction, all the good stuff. You would protect yourself from pain, but there would be emptiness instead. We have to sew up the heart and say, it's worth the risk of hurt in order to experience joy, happiness, and elation. And we do see that that's what Spirit wants you to do, is to rebound. And it will be okay. But there is hesitation. Once bitten, twice shy, right? But that's okay. You will be stronger, wiser, and clearer this time. And that's your mantra. Just see it. See it as it is. And if someone can't give you what you want, love yourself enough to say, that's not good enough for me. No matter how sexy the devil looks, it's still the devil. All right. Let's take a look at you right now. 8 of Wands. So now we're into the silver lining energy because most of it's good. We have a 2 of Pentacles here, but it's pretty good. All right. So the 8 of Wands in reverse. Look at how we got the busy bees. We have a hummingbird. We have all these pollinators here. This is an abundant period for you. And again, it could be seasonally speaking. The next 3 months in particular are going to bring in movement, change. You can blink your eyes actually and look and think, how are we already in October, November, December? I feel like the year's going to fly by before you know it. Bookmark this and come back and tell me if it didn't feel that way. 8 of Wands in reverse. Also, take time to enjoy the sweetness of the moment. Sometimes we are so fixated on milestones. Okay, if I just do this, and then I find this person, and then achieve this, and save this much, and buy this, and then I'll be happy. No, you gotta find the happiness now, in the process. Because who knows what life will look like when you achieve those milestones? It's sweet. There's got to be some sweetness now. Take time to enjoy, to smell the flowers, to hang out with your fellow bees here, to be the queen bee or the hummingbird. Drink it in. And that is something that the Nine of Cups does. She has some fun. So mix it up a little bit. Put some fun in the sort of like process here. And don't focus so much on when I retire, when I quit, when it's 5 p.m., when it's the weekend. There has to be some joy now. If you're constantly fast forwarding, it'll be over before you know it. Why are you watching it if you're fast forward? It's like a movie where you fast forward it. No, just watch something where you don't have to keep skipping all of this stuff. You might be skipping some good stuff in the middle. So if I could go back and talk to a younger me, I probably wouldn't change things because I wouldn't be here. But let's imagine I was going to live a different version of my life and accept whatever new fate might await me. I wouldn't have stayed as long in jobs, relationships, and places as I did, thinking that maybe something would shift. I wouldn't have rushed through parts of my life or just waited till like quitting time because I was bored at a job. I would have found things that maybe were a little bit more fulfilling along the way. I did it eventually, but I wish I'd done it sooner. And so one of the great things that I get to do here is to encourage other people to live wiser. And it's never too late to make the change. So looking at all the days you have left, no regret, even though you guys don't choose that one, it's okay. No regret. We're going to focus on what we can do, what we can affect. Because to do anything else just is not, it's going to deflate you. So you can be empowered by making smarter choices moving forward. And then look back and say, oh, I'm so glad I made that change when I did. I did it just in time. You showed up today. You're going to do it just in time. We're not going to focus on regret, coulda, shoulda, woulda. Remember? We're going to focus on can, will, and am. So what can you do? Nice segue. Just about anything you set your mind to. If you focus, we have a magician in the reverse position. That was kind of poetic. A magician in the reverse position. All right, the magician reversed. Too many things. You can even see it here. Look at all the cards flowing through the magician. Juggling everything. Everything's shiny. Look at that. Look at that. Look over here, over there. The magician needs to slow down and say, yes, shiny objects, but that's what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to do it, and I'm going to believe in myself and focus. He is one of the ultimate alchemic cards. It's in the environment. There might be someone around you also, like attracts like, because we had the lovers at the center, that can complement and assist you with this. So it's a great time to partner up in business and in life and in general. Also, this can be a healer in your life. The magician is a healer. So this can be a doctor, a therapist, or someone, a mentor that can help you out as well. Okay? Speaking of being kind of like pulled in too many directions, we have the Two of Pentacles here in hopes, fears, and opportunities. Know your limits and don't overextend. These are two very similar cards. This is saying, yeah, I can do it when you know you can't do it. And then you feel this, which is being stretched beyond your means. So what you could say is, I wish I could do it. However, comma, and then caveat what you need and why you can't do something. So you can express, I'd love to make you happy and say that this is possible, but we both know it's not. But here's what I can do instead. Here's how we can make it happen if you want it. So now you've actually completely liberated yourself from that. And you're also saying, we can do this, but I need this from you. You're flipping it around. It's like when you get asked a tough question and you just ask the question, another question back. That's interesting. Why are you asking that right now? Why didn't we talk about this sooner? The power tables have changed. It's shifted. You're now the one that's controlling it. So just push it right back and say, this is what's necessary if you want that. Is that what you want still? Ask the question. Ask a good question. and also present a good option for them and let them sit with it. And then you're the one that's in control. And the devil's going to just say, okay, you've learned my ways. I'll move on to someone else, okay? So it's going to liberate you from making the same mistakes. Make sure that you have enough of what you need in your life. The Two of Pentacles isn't getting enough. Love, joy, money, time, sleep. There's an absence of what's necessary. For a while, you can pull yourself in all these directions, but that rubber band that is invariably a part of most Two of Pentacles will eventually break. And we don't want that, okay? And we have a great card in the outcome here, the World. It is time. It is time to move on. It is time to expand. It is time to launch. Bigger, better, brighter. All of this or greater. These are the thoughts that you want to embody in this moment in time. If you're embodying a lesser version of that, then you really want to look at this and ask, why? Why am I doing that? You may be thinking of leveling up, so moving on, moving up, moving out. Using my own real life example where someone says, you're welcome to stay, but you're not going anywhere. Why would I do that? So I needed to find a new path I needed to leave. So that could be sort of like tangentially doing that, like from one career to another. This could be moving from one geographical location to another, moving out of a relationship where you're not getting enough. Or if you're finally in what you want, then just expansion. Because we've worked through all of the karmic stuff. This was a lot that we talked about today because you asked me, choose or close a chapter that no longer serves you. I'm reading for the collective. A lot of you were dealing with these different chapters. So it may not be everything for everyone, but I'm sure there was something here that resonated. So whatever your chapter is that needs to be closed, know that once you do it, great stuff awaits, okay? And I'm kind of touching that lion here as we just went through the Lionsgate portal. So we still have this energy of expansion that wants to come through even as you're watching this. So let's do it. All right, now we're going to expand into health, wealth, love, and destiny. We haven't done that in a minute. So I like to shake it up every week, including sometimes doing what we used to do. At the very end, I will try to pull 3 cards. So when I go into some of these other ones, I may not spend as much time, but I do want to highlight them this day here. So let me take a quick drink, and then we're going to take a look at health. Okay, so moving on. We're going to take a look at health here first. So health is mind, body, and spirit. It's kind of interesting because the World card is very much this. So even though I can't show it anymore because YouTube has silly policies, I love YouTube, but we shouldn't be censoring nudity in tarot cards, or art like the Renaissance or whatever. But normally there's nudity in the World because you're beyond material trappings. You're above all of the things in the earthly world. And that's why a lot of times in Roman and Greek statues and paintings, the gods are shown naked. First of all, they loved beauty and they loved the body, but it's also because it's not like there's clothing when you're in the ethereal realm unless you want it. So it's just saying back to the basics. And so in this moment, you might feel a little bit exposed, but you might also be more authentically yourself. When you step into an unknown part of your life, or when you reveal something about yourself, we're going deeper than the physical body. We're talking about saying like that you love someone because we had the lovers at the center, or coming out and expressing something that you want in your life, who you love. Talking about something difficult that you might be dealing with, a health diagnosis. You're exposing a part of you that makes you feel like, oh my gosh, you truly see me. Well, that's a true test of a relationship. If people cower or don't know how to deal with you then, better to know it now. Because who knows how many days we have on the planet. Let's not waste it with people that can't deal with you, the real you. And you're just being asked to look at the real you as well, okay? So a little deeper than a traditional health message because, again, you asked me to go into a slightly deeper message today. All right, so let's go ahead and just look at this from a general health perspective. So some new things that I didn't mention before, which is why it's good that we do this. This can be addictions. So if there's someone in your life that is struggling, whether it's cigarettes, alcohol, other substance abuse, overworking. It can also be addictions to sex, and anything can be an addiction, really. Using the computer, playing games, whatever. This is reminding you that you can't change them, only they can change them. Likewise for yourself, change only happens when you're ready to let go of the vice. So there's a vice that needs to be released for some of you, either with yourself or with someone that you love. And hopefully that message of it has to happen within you or within the other person that resonates, okay? There's also sometimes things that just happen that are out of our control because the devil represents a card of control. And so sometimes things just happen. And when you realize, like, sometimes you just have to deal with the aftermath of that you didn't control it, then that's okay too. All right, moving on. This is not the time, again, to go overboard, particularly when it comes to caffeine, alcohol, sugar, anything that is kind of connected to that Nine of Cups extravagance or extremes. Be honest with yourself, be honest with your doctors, be honest with others. Honesty and integrity, really important in health, because if they don't know what's truly going on, they can't help. This can be emotional healing. This can also be a history of heart issues. So if that is part of your experience, make sure that you talk to your doctor about that and live a healthier life, from diet and exercise to emotional health. It's a holistic view. Balance, general balance overall is important. Other than that, looking pretty good here. Okay, so let's move on to wealth. Reclamation of power, the Ankh. So the Ankh is an ancient Egyptian symbol that represents power. We also have the cycles of all the seasons and all the elements kind of represented here. But anyway, you might be speaking up, speaking out, or pushing back. Finding and using your voice this week in particular is important. All of those things, okay? Let's take a look at how this all lines up, and we're going to break this one down into a few categories. Like I said, I'm going to go a little briefer in this because I do want to pull 3 bonus cards at the end here, so I'll kind of try to go through it quickly. For those of you that are employed, I mentioned the writing might already be on the wall. There could be, for some of you, a glass ceiling, which I talked about. There could be a lack of integrity. They say they're going to do something, they don't follow through. There could be a lack of morale or support. And again, that leads to this understanding that you want to move on. I definitely get that for some of you. Look at the diagonal, deep past, near future outcome. So you're either going to rally up some support, exercise your free speech, your rights, your right to protest and all of that, or try to sort of create something new or move on. So it's change it or leave it. It's 2 very clear paths. You don't want to just sort of like stay in something that doesn't serve you. Don't hold yourself back from trying something new. And the one thing to look at here is to make sure that you're not overcommitting. So if everything else is good, people love you. This is a good time, but you might be trying to please everyone, or they want more of the piece of the pie that is your life. You need to push back and say, this is it. This is all I can give, because these cards want to pull you beyond that. So I still think it's important to speak up and exercise your power. You have more influence than you think. It's a productive month. People like you. There might be some travel on the horizon, but there might be a little too much going on. Entrepreneurs. It is time possibly to hire new people. The devil in reverse can be a very controlling energy, a perfectionist tendency. Some of you may be ready to, maybe you built something and you're like, I'm done. And that's okay. You could sell the company if you want to. If there's a product, service, or something that you are doing in your general entrepreneurial experience that doesn't serve your highest good, change it. Alchemically, we're putting a little bit of that in here. You can change it. You have to either change it or release it. It's pretty clear for those that are presently employed or who own their own companies. Change it or leave it. That's the main sort of takeaway here. It's important to be transparent with everyone. One of the things that I studied in undergraduate was also public relations. So you need to control the dialogue. You need to be coming out with the truth. If you don't, it's going to see the light of day anyway. And it's better to do some damage control, or just to stop doing something that you don't like doing, okay? So we need to go through and reorganize. I actually feel like for entrepreneurs, a reorg is in order. And either trimming things down, launching some new things, or just saying, I need to try something different because this isn't what I want. So this is reorganizational energy for sure. It doesn't have to be absolutely throwing everything out, but there's a couple things that need to go, and you already know. And being very realistic with finances. So making sure that if something isn't performing, you cut that out or you change the price point, okay? If you're job seeking right now, I can see the challenges. I also like read the news, listen to people talking about that. I know people that are in traditional job seeking experiences right now, and it sucks. It can take months. I know. Here's what I'm seeing. There's a lot of competition. It's a deflating sort of energy. But what I did get in this is entrepreneurial. So there might be a chance to, while you're waiting, to start something new, and also to completely explore a different field. That was something that I've had to do a few times in my life, where I moved to new geographical locations or I shifted my field completely. I did it like 3 times. And each time it's scary, but each time it's also very fulfilling. The most recent being like 10 and a half, almost 11 years ago when I decided to do this, because there was no idea of how it would form, just that I was going to do something different and I needed to be in the driver's seat. So it can be done, but it is challenging and it does require support. And if you are going to do something bold like that, you may need the support of a partner, of a parent, of a friend, because of finances. Because there's sometimes finite amount, but this could be a chance to launch a business if you're not happy with what you're seeing out there. Otherwise, expand the geographical net with which you are kind of exploring or casting and looking and seeing what's out there. You may not like it, but there's a lateral move that's within reach. And people want you to wear a lot of hats, and we talked about that earlier. There's a finite amount of time that you can wear all of those hats. So just be really honest with yourself. Make sure that you look at the contract and that you ask the tough questions. And there is a nudge or a push to either try a different career, try a different geographical location, or launch something on your own for the next month or so here, and see if that doesn't change it up. Definitely the next week, you could look at doing something on your own. Okay. Students. It's really important. Gosh, I'm going to shift what I was initially going to say, and then I'll go back to that. Some of you don't like the world in which you are going to graduate. That's what I get with the 3 of Swords in the world. And there's this question like, is this actually preparing me? Because so many things have changed. So I went to school around the turn of the century. That makes it sound crazy. Late 90s, late 90s. So college, grad school, and I was in the work field in the early 2000s. So I was ahead of things. Like, people didn't understand completely how to deal with technology. It's the same story, just a different decade or two. So I was self-teaching myself HTML. I learned nonlinear editing, but I also was constantly learning new programs and just reading manuals, doing tutorials, taking classes. And I had to find other outlets because traditional schools didn't have the curriculum. So self-taught. I had to learn how to do all of this, including even just editing and stuff like that. Because it kept changing. I learned on Avid and Media 100, and then it became like Final Cut and Premiere, and it continues to evolve and change. So you have to keep learning new software, new techniques, because it never stops changing. So students, you're right, some of you, that you don't have what you need at the curriculum level. So you're going to have to supplement and augment your curriculum with your own experiences. You are getting something good out of that curriculum, but it's probably not enough. So keep adding it in, peppering it in. Even once I graduated, I would take classes, especially when I did get like a regular job. They would pay for classes, so I would take them in photography and in lighting and other things like that so that I could continue to grow my skills. We never stop learning. Right now, I'm taking language classes. Like, you never stop learning. until you step foot into the next dimension. So it's never too late, and you usually need to augment what you're studying, because I see limitations, I see frustration, and I see an uncertain world. So in an uncertain world, you have to give yourself more tools, and you might have to do more than what's in your course curriculum. So that's just, again, me getting kind of very real. Be honest with yourself when it comes to finances. I don't know anymore if it does make sense to go in traditional paths where you have to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars. Thankfully, it wasn't that expensive when I went, but it's incrementally gone up. It's like triple or quadruple what it cost when I went. I don't know if I could afford it now. Maybe I would go for a lesser degree. Maybe I would go to a different country where I could maybe I'd go to a state college or a community college or something like that. So look at all the different funding opportunities and see if you can't get the same amount without incurring additional debt, because we are going into an interesting financial trajectory here over the next couple of years. There's so much going on. Trust me, we're going to see some shifts in the financial market. So we want to make sure that we're not taking on more debt than we're comfortable with. It took me 25 years to pay off the loan. That's a long time. That's like half what a mortgage would be here in the US or something. Or that's just almost a mortgage, 30-year mortgage. So you need to make sure that you're okay with that amount of time that it might take. If not, it's okay. You don't have to do that. Now just to general school stuff. Some of you might be going through a breakup. It has nothing to do with school, but it's coming through. There could also be a familial issue that's coming through that's distracting you. Ground yourself, take a couple of days to get back on track. Make sure that you're all right. Don't overextend yourself in time, energy, money, or activities. Otherwise, it's looking pretty good. Some of you might want to travel abroad or transfer to a new university. I like that as well. But I had to highlight that some of you feel like something's lacking. I said I wasn't going to go in depth, but so be it. Whatever comes through, comes through. We'll go a little lighter in love. If I have to say something, I say it. Otherwise, the guides will bother me in my dreams. All right, moving on to retirees. Retirees. Some of you are looking for more. And you're wondering, and I understand it, it's like, especially when it comes to the money, like, why isn't this going further? Because we are seeing changes in the financial markets, and what was enough before wasn't enough now. There is an option here to move. There are places where money goes further. So it could be moving to a different city, state, or a different country or province beyond where you're at, so that your money can go further and you can enjoy life more. There's nothing wrong with that. No one said we had to stay in one place for our entire existence. So you could be looking at that. Some of you are frustrated with travel because it's costly, or you have to change your plans because, again, it just doesn't feel like you want to go where you went before. So what we see here instead is like focusing on relationships, focusing on things that make you happy, and then deciding where you want to be in the long run. So there is a locational shift that's happening here for some of you, where it's like, where do I want to be for the next chapter? And that's a good question to ask yourself, okay? Only you can decide, but what I see here is it might be somewhere completely different. Changing up the geography could be exciting. All right, looking at love, I'll try to go briefer into this because I think we're tracking fine, but one step at a time. All of you show up here for a conversation, so I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, this is interesting. This aligns with what I'm seeing here with the Devil and the Seven of Swords. So we have the Fox, and it reads mischief, agility, and cleverness. So as I've been saying here with this, if you think you can get away with something, you can't. The Devil and the Seven of Swords are going to see the light of day. If someone thinks they're trying to fool you, they're not really fooling you, right? So be honest, be someone of integrity, and avoid those sort of temptations. Okay. For those of you in a current relationship, I see some challenges that you've been through. The Devil can be a health challenge, so it can be something like a heart attack, cancer, loss of a loved one, things that we can't necessarily control. We can only sort of make decisions moving forward. So what I do love about that, let's say it was something out of your control, especially if it's expanded family, lots of love coming through, okay? So the heightened version of this is some of you went through some challenges, and there's still some challenges, but you're there for each other. The devil can also be a moment that you wish you could forget in the past, a disappointment, a lack of honesty. And there is something that comes through that triggers this. It doesn't necessarily have to be in even this relationship. Let's say someone in the past lied or cheated on you, or let's say someone's doing it right now and it makes you call into question the integrity of this relationship. Let's not conflate or confuse the past or the environment with the core of this. You'll see it and you'll know it, and it could just be something that is a wound from the past. So you'll know the trigger if it is, and then pause and talk to someone else. Don't take it out on the partner. Now, if the partner is showing tendencies, this could be addiction and it's coming, something's resurfacing, have that heart-to-heart conversation and make sure that you're clear that there's no room for this again. And if it's a cycle that repeated, you can just say, I'm sorry, this was too hard before, I can't do it again. And that's completely okay. So first we have to make sure that we're not confusing and conflating something. If we aren't, then we're going to put down boundaries. And if it's already too much, you can move on. That's fine. That's fine. That's what I'm seeing here. Other things outside of that, money, time, and energy. Making sure that there's enough time for the two of you. I still see a spark, but I do see this sort of like there's a lot going on. And we saw that even with this. Some of you might just be stressed out because something new has happened. You just got married, you just had a kid, you just adopted a pet, you just moved. Big changes can create all of this and bring up old wounds. Make sure you heal the old wounds and you weed out what was past versus what is present. If you're single and looking, definitely let the ex be the ex. We do not need to reconnect with the devil energy. They may come back, they may text you, block them, ignore them, change your number, don't go back to this, for sure. That is as clear as day to me. Instead, there's something better coming in. This isn't a cycle that even needs or wants to repeat itself. It's in the past. But whatever the pain is, there's a little bit of healing that needs to be done. When you least expect it, we actually see someone that you don't know. So the lovers in the world are connected. Could be someone traveling and meeting you out and about, could be a friend of a friend of a friend, but it's not a direct relation or connection. This is someone new that you have not connected with in the past. So we're going to release and sever ties. We're going to focus instead on doing things that you love, being busy, focusing on things that matter the most. And then when you're not expecting it, someone catches your eye, catches your glance. But focus on the healing. Be honest with others. What do you want? What are you looking for? Is it commitment or is it just companionship? There's no wrong answer here. But give them that honesty and that courtesy that you would want as well. Can you find someone? Yes, but you need to heal the heart and clear up your schedule a little bit. Don't get back with an ex. Leave it in the past. Single and happy, good for you. Single and happy, now is the time to really focus on building your network. You might find new friendship. You could even find love because you're not looking for it. But in this period of time, I see travel, personal development, and maybe even some intuitive development that's coming through. It looks like you could also grow or fix some of the resource challenges that you've had in your life. So a lot of progress being made. Let's look at the Destiny card. All right, for Destiny, freedom. That's why I'm saying, like, whatever the devil is in the past, leave it in the past. The past is the past is the past. So it's like Superman or Supergirl here. This is your chance to spread your wings and try something brand new. And you're free to explore. You're free to decide. You're free. Feel that sense of liberation and freedom now. Okay. I feel like we covered most of it. So I'm going to save... And rather than pulling 3 cards, I'm just going to say, is there anything that you can do to transmute? I am still going to save most of that for a future one because I feel like that's its own reading one day. So rather than getting too deep in the weeds in that. So I'm just going to say, for whatever it is that represents the stuff around literally the cross, like the 4 parts of the cross, what can you do to fully release it and close it? Because that really was what the majority of you chose today. Again, maybe for a bonus reading or something, I'll do that other topic. But what do you need to do to truly release it? Okay, so we got the Empress card here. The Empress represents loving yourself. It can be, yes, birthing, creating, being literally a mother, but we also embody the divine feminine, and we can be that for ourselves, especially when we don't have that maternal energy in our life anymore. So love and nurture yourself. It's really what it's saying. Whatever you need to do to feel loved and nurtured. So whatever environments provide that, whatever activities provide that, whatever intellectual expansion or stimulation provides that, that's the focus. You take care of you. You love you. And maybe some of you want to spend a little bit more time with children, or my dog's asleep to the right, so I can't show him on the camera. Pets, all of that. This is a chance to really release that. Okay. We have a couple of additional things that we're going to do. We're going to meditate, and then we'll look at a final card. Before I get into any of that, a couple of quick notes here. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. That way, like when I did the impromptu late last night, you'll get a notification. It's free and it helps. And I just want to say thanks. You can also follow me on social just in case notifications don't come through. You can always go to my website for all the official links. And many of you have already gifted memberships, joined as a member, or put a sticker in chat. Thank you. Keep doing that as we meditate, and then I'll say thank you later. All right, let's go ahead and meditate. So for today's meditation, I think what I'd like to focus on, I'm just tuning in for a second. I want to focus on the heart. All right, so put your hands on your heart, however it feels comfortable, and just really feel that space for a moment. Take a couple of deep breaths, and whatever you might be holding on to, with the exhale, let it go. And also just feel like you're kind of giving yourself an energetic hug, and really put some healing energy into that heart chakra. Create it like a positive mantra. Feel that you are enough, that you are lovable, that you are passionate, that you are creative, that you are powerful. Put some positive thoughts and energy into the heart center. And you can also now just place your hands in a cup position, rest them in your lap, and say, I am ready to receive love, abundance, and opportunity in the highest form beyond my wildest dreams. Imagine that you're sitting directly under a rainbow, and you can see all the different spectrums and colors of light above you, that the rainbow is also going through each and every chakra system in your body, and that you are lighting up. If you could step back and see yourself, you would just see this multicolored, bright, luminous being in front of you. Place into the heart now a dream, a goal, a wish, and know that you are one step closer to achieving that. All right, open your eyes, and using your heart, ask a question. What is your final question for today? What do you need to know? All right, that's a pretty good card. For your final question today, we have the Knight of Pentacles. It's in the upright position. The Knight of Pentacles, as we can see here, is a richly abundant card. So if you ask me a yes or no, the Knight of Pentacles is a yes. He is a little bit stationary. So one thing that I would say right now is it's a perfect time to take the next step. So you kind of got the green light with this. It's time now to take the next step and create some movement and action in your life. Other nuances to this card. Lead, don't follow. So in a field of sunflowers, be the sun. The sunflowers follow the sun. Be the one that others follow. Don't follow the leader. Don't follow the sort of like norms or expectations. Be the sun. Value yourself and advocate for your value, because if I see an opportunity in this general spread, it was not to overextend or to sell yourself short. But as a yes or no, it's a yes. Yes, but take action. Yes, but be the sun, not the sunflower. And that, my friends, is this very magical reading. I never know what to expect when I show up, but this was superb. I enjoyed reading and going through it today. So thank you so much. And I really just like all of you, I'm so over retrograde, so over it. Mercury retrograde, to be specific. It teaches us what we need to be taught, but I will not miss it this week. I will not miss it at all. All right. Thank you all for showing up today. Let's take a couple of moments to give back a little bit of gratitude to everybody that showed up today. All right. So for those of you that also provided a super sticker, super chat, etc., I'm going to go ahead and celebrate that right now. So let's see what's going on here. Now let me take another drink because I've been talking a lot. All right. Welcome to the following new channel members: Aaron, Annalisa, Shayna. Also, Amitabha, thank you for being a contributing channel member for 15 months. I know you've been watching for years. I'm like, I've seen that in comments and in live streams, much, that username much longer. So good to have you here as a member as well, though, for over a year and a half almost. Crystal, thank you for your sticker. Same thing to Deborah. So kind of you guys. I appreciate it. Bernadette, thank you for sharing the love there. 5 gifted memberships. You're amazing. Lori, thank you for 2 years exactly of membership. Lots of love and gratitude to you as well. Ryan, thank you very much for your kind sticker. And thanks for showing up right back at you. It's a two-way street. I couldn't be here without you guys. We have a couple of people here in a row that just gave 5 memberships. Colette and Kristen, thank you very much. With all these new members, it might be time to do another members video, so I'll look into that. Lucy, thank you for 42 months. Get out of town. That's a long time. I appreciate your love and support for so many years. Thank you. Also, thank you for extending that to a new member as well. Believe in Magic, thanks for gifting a membership also. Lucy, thank you for the kind sticker. Let's see, Believe in Magic, member for 3 months. Glad you're here as well. Rebecca or Rex, happy Lionsgate. I definitely felt a shift of energy starting yesterday. So it's not just a number. It's not just a thing. There definitely was an energetic shift. I'm with you on that. Monica, thank you for the virtual coffee cup there sticker. I appreciate it. Alicia, thank you as well. I appreciate you. JJ, thank you for also gifting a membership. Lisa and Yolanda, thank you for your stickers. Same thing to Mary and Mel 305. Also to Bonnie, thanks for that little bit extra. I appreciate it. And Popcorn, thank you too. Good luck with the interviews. One thing that I would really focus on with that, like I said, is have your questions ready. This is true of anybody that has some important documents or things to look at. Come with questions, ask the tough questions. It goes both ways. Let's see. What did I see? Popcorn, thank you for giving a membership as well. Deborah, 10 months of membership, almost a year. Thank you very much. Jeannie Hart, good to see you as well. Thank you. Thank you to Teresa. Gia, 23 months, almost 2 years. Thank you for the membership and for showing up today. Thanks for also gifting a membership. And oh my God, 10 memberships? Laura, you're amazing. Welcome to all the new people that were gifted memberships today as well. I think I got everybody. Let me quickly look at just the membership tab to make sure that I didn't miss any stickers. I think I got all of those. So super stickers, let's see. I'll go through this really quick. Crystal, Deborah, Raven, Lucy, Monica, Alicia, Lisa, Yolanda, Mary, Mel, Bonnie, Popcorn, Jeannie, and Teresa. I think I got them all. And there's going to be too many to include all the newest members, but I thank the ones that either joined on their own or gifted to others, and I think that's key. But welcome to all the new ones as well. We'll do something fun, like I said, whether it's maybe a short video just for members. I'll try to do something new, maybe an extra pick a card in this upcoming week, or maybe I'll look at some questions or something. We'll figure it out. Something fun, something welcoming. But in the meantime, have a great week ahead. I think we have some good stuff in store for us. So I'll pull Apollo up here and then we'll close up for today. But in the meantime, here's celebrating getting through almost Mercury retrograde. Hey, Apollo. Here, buddy. All right, everybody. Apollo just got up from a nap and he's like, Dad, what are we doing? I hope all of you have a great week ahead. Thank you again for your love, your support. Wishing you guys all the best. Take care, okay? Thanks again.